Was there ever conversation for a continuation or a reboot or seeing the original cast of the middle come back together? There was. You can't say. It's happening now. You're filming it right now.
We're not, but yeah, there's been
Conversation?
conversation. Yeah, there's not enough
About our sunscreen at a garage sale. But, you know, I can handle a little sunburn. I am so focused I can hardly even feel. Oh, me!
What's up, guys? My name's Joe. Welcome to the podcast. Today's interview is brought to you by FanDuel. 215 episodes of television is insane.
Yes, it is.
You really were part of that last era of like 20 plus episodes of seasons.
Yep.
Did that feel like you had a lot on your plate when the season was beginning?
Yes. 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 I did not do anything other than film the middle for those from like August to April. That was it. That was my whole life. And when I see now, because I've done after the middle, I've done episodes here and there of multicams. Do you know? I don't want to like over explain. You know the difference between a single cam and a multicam?
Can you explain it?
Okay. It is, yeah. For anyone who doesn't know, a multicam is like Friends. If you hear a laugh track and it almost looks like a play, that's a multi-camera sitcom, situational comedy.
Where the lighting's not too specific. They're just trying to capture it.
Yes. Those, and like Big Bang Theory, those are filmed in like 6 hours. You have the like actual filming schedule for an actor for a multi-camera comedy is you come in for like 4 or 5 hours Monday through Thursday to rehearse. You run it like a play, and then you just film on Friday nights. Now it's a little different. Sometimes they'll do like pre-taping on Thursday afternoons and then the rest, like 3 hours on Friday night. It is a 20 to 25 hour work week on a single camera comedy, and you are using multiple cameras, but like anything where there's no laugh track, the middle.
Modern Family
Technically is a single cam, but they shot it documentary style, so their work days were actually pretty short.
More like The Office kind of run and gun.
Yeah. Yes, they like famously had, because we were filming at the same time, and I remember being like, these friends get off at lunch. Why are we going till 10 p.m.? And eventually, like when we got into the groove, they got a little shorter, but like a 10-hour workday was short. We sometimes go 16, 18 hours, and so like 16 whatever times 5, what's 8 times 5 is 40. That's an 80-hour work week, And so like that is literally that was my whole life for 9 years.
How much of your day was spent in the trailer and then waiting on set for your call time? And
that's a fantastic question. It was different. It just depended on how many scenes I was in. The like worst type of day, and I shouldn't say, I genuinely feel lucky to it's so cheesy. I genuinely feel so lucky to have had that job. When I was in my trailer, I was getting paid to be in my trailer. But within that scope of feeling lucky to have that job, the worst kind of day was being in the very first scene and the very last scene, because then you really are just sitting in a trailer for 12 hours. I go, especially when it's like a 1/8 of a page or something. It's like I go in, I shoot for half an hour, and then I just sit for 12 hours until like I'm in a daze at like 9 p.m. They're like, "You're up," and I'm like, "I'm still here. What's happening?"
And then once you get out, what happens the next day? Are you rehearsing on your next episode already?
Well, it takes 5 days to shoot an episode, so
And then 2 days off.
Yeah. And I think most multicams have the schedule of 3 weeks on, 1 week off, or maybe 3 weeks on, sometimes 2 weeks off. We had 4 weeks on, 1 week off, and we always had to come in for a table read on our hiatus on Wednesdays. So we never even had like a full 5 days off, which I don't even know now. Like, I don't know if that's normal, but that was just the way the schedule worked out. So it was, yeah, so there's actually almost no rehearsal time for the next episode.
How long would it take to film 22 episodes?
From August to April. We did 24.
24.
Yeah. So we started, I think, early August, and then went to April. It was like the school year.
And then do you just wait to see if you're getting picked up for the following season?
Yes. After season like 4 or 5.
You had a feeling.
We had a feeling. We kind of knew. I think actually, wait, I'm lying. I think after season 2 or 3, we found out while we were we'd find out when we were filming like the last couple episodes. So
What is
we'd
the
know.
purpose of that? To give the actors security?
I think it's to give the studio. No, they don't care about the actors. No, it's so that the studio can plan their lineup. So they have a more secure. They're like, okay, they're definitely going to come back. Let's just let them know. Let's confirm it so that we have, when we're like planning our if we have new pilots or what will be returning, they can plan and the network can plan their, like, their night. Which I don't know if that I don't know I do not know what the landscape of network TV looks like now. And it hasn't been that long, but it really did, I feel like, change almost like immediately.
Almost like once one of the streamers caught traction, every other one had to step up and get content and original. I remember when Apple just started making their own originals, like, oh wow, Apple's doing it now too.
Yeah. I can't remember it. When did House of Cards come out? What year was that?
Must have been like 2016, 2017?
Yeah,
Or
so
was it even earlier?
I don't know, but that's like pretty late. And then all of a sudden, I feel like it was just like, oh my God, we can do this. Like you said, once one streamer did it, like once Netflix did it, every other streamer was like, oh wait, this does, because everyone laughed at it. They're like, Netflix can't, you can't, like, come on, stick with the movies.
House of Cards, then Orange is the New Black took off, became
And
a huge hit.
Huge. And I think that was like pretty much it. What was the other one? Was there another like big?
Disney, I remember when Disney Plus stepped in too.
Disney Plus is so new though. Disney Plus is one of the later ones, right?
Yeah.
What did it? I feel like it must have been Hulu that stepped in like right after Netflix. I feel like Netflix and Hulu, people started trusting like, oh, they can do this. Amazon was one of the later ones. What was I would love to look up actually the actual trajectory of like what followed what, who did what when, because I feel like once Disney Plus was in the game, it was expected to have original content, and then it was just like it's over. God, I feel like such an old person explaining to my children how we used to watch TV. It is absolutely, it's like unhinged. They're like, well, you just didn't. I was like, we didn't pick what was on. It was just on. And I grew up with no cable. So it was like, we had 5 channels. It was on like whatever was on Fox. And I was like, I could tell you the schedule with like what was on. Like it was like Simpsons, King of the Hill. I would skip King of the Hill and then Married with Children and then The Simpsons again. And like we didn't have a choice. And we did our homework in commercials.
Would you watch sitcoms growing up?
Oh, for sure.
You wanted to be on one.
100%.
That was the dream.
That was the dream. That was really I mean, I wanted to be an actor, but like I would watch specifically sitcoms and be like, I could do that. I can do that.
King of Queens, I'm on it.
I was like, this is not, I don't want to say it's not that hard because it takes a lot of practice to be able to, it takes a lot of practice being funny, but at the same time, you either get it or you don't. You cannot teach someone to be funny. And if you grow up watching this stuff and you just like know you have it in you, like, you just get like, I can do that. I need to practice doing it so that I can like, it's like, but if you have, it's kind of like you can learn how to control your voice. You can learn how to be a decent singer. But if you don't have the ear for it, if you can't figure out how to have breath control, you just like don't have that genetically in you to have good like breath control, you're just never going to be a singer. In the same way, like you just have the comedy gene or you don't, and and some people have it and then don't hone it and then they, maybe squander it or whatever. I don't know. But it is also torture. Have you ever seen someone who doesn't have the comedy gene try like it's like
I've been to those stand-up comedy bars.
I'm like, what are you doing? Why did you think that this was the career for you? Like, I can hear what you're trying to do. You're singing flat. Why are you, I see what, like, stop there, and then continue talking, and then talk faster here. Why are you saying it wrong? Why are you saying your own joke wrong? Oh my God, it's torture.
Real quick, guys, today's episode is brought to you by FanDuel. Right now, FanDuel is dropping bonus bets into everyone's account for the tournament. Now is the best time to sign up. All you have to do is opt in to claim the bonus. Use them on your bracket picks, money line, spreads, totals, game props, or even same-game parlays. But don't wait, because these bonus bets are only available for a limited time. Just visit FanDuel.com to learn more, or click the link in the description down below. Now back to the interview. What was your first step into Hollywood? What did you want to do?
I want to say I wanted to do theater, but that's a lie. I did theater like as a kid because my mom was a good mom and was like, we're not going to do this yet. Like, if you really want to do this, you're going to have to show me like for years that this is not a phase. That I'm not going to like to go through the effort of like getting you an agent, going through this real turmoil, like the trauma of being a child actor potentially, like working at such a young age, if it's just going to be like, if you just want to do some theater and then you're going to phase out of it. And so I did theater as a kid and I loved it. And so I was like, okay, I want to be on Broadway. I want to do theater. Just because it was like the one place that you can have very big feelings and no one's telling you. Everyone's like, yes, more, instead of like throwing a tantrum in a class or like being too loud, singing too loud. I will answer your question, but I have this memory of in 5th grade, this boy telling me, and also just like, can I curse? Like, fuck little boys. These little boys telling little girls anything. But I sang in 5th grade the Star Spangled Banner at the talent show. The talent show. The point is to show your talents. And I was a very good singer when I was a little kid. Like, I loved to sing. I took voice lessons, whatever. And he called me a show-off. He was like, you're a real show-off. And I was like, it's a talent show. That's the literal point. But I remember thinking, like, it was just so formative, like, oh my God, I'm a show-off. Don't, like, be as small as possible. It's just one of those things. Like, don't, oh no, you're too much, whatever. And so when I would do theater, when I'd be on stage, and everyone would be like trying to get more out of these kids. And I'm like, oh, you don't have to convince me. Like, it wasn't hard to get more out of me because I was like, I can be big and I can feel things on command and I can I can show you everything I can do. So I did theater.
So you just naturally had all this.
I think I did. But in the same way, like, it's not that I was like so talented. It's that like I had so much energy. I had so many feelings. I had so many things that needed to come out that just like needed to get out of my body. And this is the way. It doesn't have to be. Some kids do sports. Some kids do, I don't know. If you're a really energetic kid, you have to have something though. You have to something. So to answer your question, my big like foray into this, I did theater, but then I've told this story a million times, so I'll try to like keep it short. But Jay Leno came to my school. He came I grew up in LA, and there was like a segment on The Tonight Show that had to do with kids. It was kind of like a jaywalking, like kids say the darndest things thing, where he would ask us questions. Like, he asked us about Halloween, and then if the teachers were told, like, bring your hammiest kids in, or like any kid who's gonna be comfortable on camera, and my teacher was like, get out of here, Eden, like, go, because I was also like very smart when I was younger. It went down. It went down as I got older, but like I was a very smart kid, and so my answers were funny. And then he came back, and so they got aired on The Tonight Show, and then his team came back and did it again for Christmas. And again, I did it, and my answers got aired. And then a producer reached out to my mom. My mom was like singled me out and was like, is your daughter an actor? Would she be interested in having her own segment on The Tonight Show? And my mom was like, oy vey. Oh no.
It's happening.
It's happening, yeah. And I was like, yes! And so then it was actually me and my brother. We did this like advice column thing for like 2 episodes on The Tonight Show. And then 9/11 happened. And they were like, we're scrapping we have to read, like, nothing, like, we can't call anyone back. And I was like, yep, this is, something else is happening in the country that I can't do my thing now. But then I got an agent, and I was like, Mom, can I please do this? Like, please, please, please let me do this. And then she got me an agent, and I did some commercials, and then that was like kind of it. I was like 11, 12. I still stayed in school though. Like, she never took me out of school. She never was like, okay, because she's a single mom and worked full time. So like, she couldn't dedicate her whole life to this. But when I think about how much time she dedicated
driving you all over
Yes.
Hollywood.
Just like we lived, I grew up in the Valley, and then we went to like driving to 3rd and La Brea every single day and driving back. And I have 2 brothers. So like, there were also 2 other kids. I'm like, I can't believe, I know some kids are pushed into it, and it's so disgusting. And the work that the parents put in is like, what are you doing? Like, why are you doing all it? Like, the pressure. But my mom, the level of work there was no pressure. It was my own pressure, but she did the same amount of, it was real labor. And she never took, I'm going off a tangent, but like she never ever took one singular dime. Not even for like gas money. She never took any money I made. It all went into my Coogan account or whatever. Or just money, or money for me. Even if it wasn't in my Coogan account, she put it in a separate bank account so that when I was 15 and I wanted to get a car, she was like, you can use your money. You're like, good, you have money. Now you can pay for your own insurance. Because like, we didn't have money for that.
Are you going to acting school and working on this?
Yeah. You mean like as a kid or as a...
As a kid.
Yes, for sure. I was taking acting classes. But the best acting classes you can take are, if you want to work in film, are just working. Which is a very easy thing to say when you are working. Like, it's like, oh, just get a job. Just get a job on a TV show. Like, and then you'll have practice. Like, it's not so easy to do that. But it's a combination of having some kind of raw talent and just luck, just pure luck.
How do you feel when you're not getting the jobs as a kid? Is it hitting you hard?
No, it's not. As an adult, so hard. My whole identity just like crushed. As a kid, something was wrong with my brain. I did not process rejection in the same way. I didn't care.
I'm gonna keep trying. I'm gonna get the next one. It's okay. It's fine.
I didn't even think about that. I was just like, I went into an audition. That was fun. I got attention. I love attention. And then I went home and I did my homework and I went like, no, so different. Once I was like post the middle, honestly, then I really started to like internalize the job was my identity. It really wasn't as a kid. It was like, this is what I like to do. This is my extracurricular activity. I get to like go on auditions and occasionally, and then like, in 5th grade, I did a Capital One commercial. I got to like fly to Canada. Oh my God. I got to be there for a week. Got to sit school. And I did not know. It did not affect me. It wasn't until maybe the middle. It was like high school. Once I had a consciousness of like getting a lot of attention. Like I did this other show for ABC called Sons and Daughters when I was 12. And it only went like 10 episodes, 11
But you were on
episodes.
all the episodes.
I was on all the episodes. Yeah, it was Sher's regular. And it was on ABC. So like I got a legitimate amount of attention for that. And I started to like, my brain started to categorize working in a different way. It wasn't just a fun, like it was fun, but it was like the high was so high.
There's a different kind of currency when people are paying attention.
Yeah. And so I loved it still, and I still had the fire within me to like not process rejection so hard that it crushed me, but I was starting to process like, oh, when I'm not working, there's a low. There's a low, there's like a badness. There was no value judgment on any of it before. It was just like all of it was a fun thing. And then there started to be I was like, oh, good working, bad not working. And it didn't it didn't crush me. It didn't ruin me in a way that like I still wanted to do it, and I still had confidence. I still would watch TV and be like, I can do that better. And so I kept with it because I knew on some level, like, no, like I knew that something was out there for me. Like I didn't take it so personally that I stopped. I never stopped. So it wasn't, but I can't remember the question, but I think I answered it.
How do you find weeds? Because that's another stepping stone.
Yes, that was a big one. It was just another, I didn't work for like 2 years. And when you're a kid, that feels like a lot. But then I just kept auditioning, and I think the casting people knew me from Sons and Daughters. And again, I think I've always, again, luck. This is luck. I've always looked younger than I was. And so it makes such a difference. If you're hiring an 11-year-old to play 11 or a 14-year-old to play 11, the 14-year-old, like, 1, can work longer hours. 2, I just have I'm able to see more. I can do more.
You understand it.
I understand it better. I'm smarter. I'm older, so I can understand the material better. I have more practice being funny, more practice acting. You're just like at an advantage. And I looked so young, like forever. So I would get these. So they were like, oh, she's funny. And I have this theory. Because 1, I also was like pretty nice to work with. Like I was just a nice person. I think I am a nice person. Probably comes from insecurity, just being like a people pleaser. But my mom wasn't aggressive on set. My mom was, I think she wasn't even there. I think I had a legal guardian because she was working. So like I didn't have a stage mom, and I was nice to be around. But on TV, you get the writer gets if they write a new character into into the show, every episode that character is in, whether they write the episode or not, from that point forward, the writer gets royalties on that episode.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, I had no idea.
I know. And so I think
the writer just kept sneaking you in?
Yes. He was like, because it was supposed to be one episode. Or maybe it was supposed to be 2 episodes, and they kept me in the rest of the season. And I really think he was like, yeah, I got kids. Let's bring her back. It's no big deal. Like, bring her in for a scene.
Is that an industry standard?
Yeah.
Wow.
I know.
Mind blown.
Learn something new every
Very
day.
cool. So you're stepping into weeds now, and you're
Yeah.
getting more experience. When does the middle find you?
When I'm 17. So then again, it felt like the longest lull. I look back and I'm like, it was 2.5 years, 3 years ish, whatever. That's nothing to not be working. But it felt like that's what I really started to internalize. Like, I don't think I can do this. Like, maybe I shouldn't do this. I know I'm good, but like, maybe I can't do this. And I was in high school. I was like in school, and I was actually working is the thing. When I think back, like, I did several episodes, several like guest stars on random shows. I did like a couple of commercials. I was consistently working. And then when I was 17, oh my God, wait, no. I was 16 when I first went out for the middle, and I didn't get it. And then a year later, they redid the whole pilot, and I went out for it again. And I was
Same character.
Same character. I told my manager, I was like, I already did this one. They don't want me for this. They don't like me for this one. I did it. They didn't even get a callback. I was in the room for 30 seconds. They were like, no, thank you.
Definitely not.
Definitely not. Not for us. And so I, went on my merry way. And then, yeah, a year later, I was 17. And I had, that's when I was like, I don't think school is doing me good right now. Like, I don't, maybe I should have stayed in school. Because what was that sentence? School is not doing me good.
I'm out.
But I was having, so I actually started at like community college and finished out independent study. And so I really did focus on working more. I was like, let me just focus really on auditioning, but also applying to colleges in case this doesn't really work out. And so I'm 17 and I'll go on this audition for this pilot, and I was just like, I can do this. But I was in the room for like 30 seconds, and they were like, okay, bye-bye. And I was like, I told you they don't like me.
Did you play the character the exact same?
Exact same.
Wow.
Exact same. And they were like, no. And I've also told this story a bunch, but I think I could tell this story all day, every day, because it's insane to me. And the fact that it like changed the course of my life in such a profound way. And I was this close to not getting it, really this close. And they were like, I went in 30 seconds, bye-bye. I'm like, I told you they didn't like me. And then my manager calls me like 2 weeks late. No, this wasn't 2 weeks later. It was like a week later, a long time in industry time. Like it's usually you find out later that day if you have a callback. A week later, he's like, you have a callback. And I was like, are you sure? Okay, great, fantastic. Go in. I wear the same thing every single time because that's what you're just supposed to do. I go in, I play it exactly the same way. I read the same 20 lines, not even. I don't know. I remember there was a part where I sang Dancing Queen or like poorly. I had to sing Dancing Queen poorly. And I was like, I know how to sing poorly. Like I can also, because I like took voice lessons, I can also like sing fake bad. I think I was like, that's one of my skills. I don't have a lot of skills, but I can do that. And so said the same lines, 30 seconds in the room. And they're like, bye-bye. And also there were more girls there. It wasn't a callback. They brought more girls in, different girls.
Are these the same girls that you're seeing on all the auditions that are fitting for your look?
Kind of, but they're not the same girls. They're different girls that are also fitting for my exact look. But again, this crazy luck thing, I was 17. The other girls were really 12. All of them were like really children. And I found out later from the creators, and I think the casting director, that they actually liked the original Sue, but she just aged out. She didn't look the part anymore. And so when they took me, so the point is that I went in about 5 times. I went in and read before any sort of like actual callback or screen test, studio test, any of that. I just read like a pre-read. You usually do that once for context. Like that happens one time usually, not 5 different times. And maybe it wasn't 5. Maybe it was at least 3. At least I know it was at least 3 because I kept calling my manager being like, what is happening? This is not normal. Stop sending me here. They've seen me. They know me at this point. It's like deja vu. It's the same, or it's like Groundhog's Day. I go in, I read for 30 seconds, they say bye-bye, and I go to my car. I'm like, I have a million passes, the Warner Brothers gate passes, just like littering the front of my car. I'm like, I have to throw them all out. And I have this ritual where I throw out sides after I do the audition. I used to keep them, like just in case I have a callback. Those little scripts. Because I don't want to waste, I used to keep them because I didn't want to waste printer paper and ink and stuff. But I realized in order to like fully just like, doesn't matter, I had to like throw it out. I had to print these sides a million times because they just kept bringing me back. And I was like, I threw these out already and I have to mentally do it every time. So I went in 3 or 4 times. Then finally it was a callback. And then finally it was a screen test, like a network. I don't know which was first, if it was a studio test or network test, but I went in, I tested twice. I never got one singular note. Every single time they had me read 1 time and they were like, okay, thank you. It's the only time that's ever usually like it's a bad sign if they don't give you a note or something to see. Never. The only note I ever got was my shirt, which was a V-neck, probably like this. But again, I was really 17 and the casting director, I think, really, really wanted this for me. I see it in retrospect now. Like he was really rooting for me. He was like, hey, when you go in for this screen test, do you have another shirt? And I was like, no, I'm here. I'm in the room. Where's this other shirt that you think I have? Where is this? And he was like, okay, can I see the back of it? And he looked at the back of it and it was, like this. And he was like, can you turn it around so that it's here, covers up to here?
So you look younger?
So I look young, yeah, so you don't see cleavage, but like any even indication of like boobs happening at all.
Right.
And I was like, yeah, sure. And I remember going in being like, they can tell that my shirt is back. There's no way they can't tell that my shirt is back.
She doesn't know how to put on her shirt. She's perfect.
I know. But he was onto something because I got it. But yeah, the people, the creators now were like, they were like, we didn't, because I kept saying like, they don't like me. And they were like, we didn't not like you. We just weren't sure what we want. We had this vision in our head. We had a very specific idea. We wanted this other girl the way she was playing it. And so we just needed to like expand our minds, expand what we had to like clean slate and then see. And then they were like, no, it was definitely you.
Was it expected to be a big show? Was there going to be...
I don't think so. I mean, maybe.
It was just a regular pilot. Let's see if it gets picked up.
Yeah. It was super. It wasn't like, this isn't like, it's a formality. It was definitely like, do they want? I think, actually, that's a question for Eileen and Deanne, because they must have had some idea that it was good because they made it twice. That's a lot of money for a studio to
invest in.
Yeah.
Where in the casting were you? Like, did they already have Patricia and...
Yes. They had Patty, and I think we're doing all the other people at the same time. All the other people were... They had the little boy. They had the little brother also, because he was in the original pilot.
Atticus?
Yeah.
Oh, so he was in the original... Wow. Did
Yeah.
they have you do screen tests along the others to make sure everybody looks like a family?
Actually, no. No. There was no... I was shocked that there was no chemistry read.
What's the first day of set like when you guys are all together?
I mean, nerve-wracking for me. I was... At that point, I was a nervous 17-year-old. And again, I knew I could do it, but I was 17. I was a real 17-year-old. Like, do you remember being 17? Were you the most secure person in the world at 17?
I was not.
No, shock. I would find me a secure 17-year-old. So I was there with like Patricia Heaton from Everybody Loves Raymond and the janitor from Scrubs, who's Neil is a dear, dear friend of mine now. And then Charlie, who like we were fast friends, became like best friends very quickly. So I wasn't really intimidated by him. But I was like, this is a big deal. I know that this is a big deal being here, and I have no idea if they're gonna recast me, especially because they already recast once. They can do it again if they're gonna do it. Like if they did it once, they could do it again. So I was nervous.
How's the release of the middle? Do they do the pilot and then they do the full season? Or did they already start filming and they were going to give you a time slot and it's coming out?
Fantastic question. I think we shot no. It was not. We did not get picked up, but like we filmed the pilot in April? No, February. Yes. I think
During
February.
pilot season?
During pilot season, yeah. We shot in February and did not have a full season or even half season, not have any sort of pickup until April. And I only know that it was April because that's when everyone started getting their acceptance letters from college, and I was getting not them. I was getting not those acceptance letters, and I was getting like waitlisted. I got waitlisted at my one college that I wanted to go to.
Which was it?
Barnard.
Ooh.
I applied early decision, so I got deferred and then waitlisted.
Did you end up getting in?
No. But a week, I was so upset, and a week later I found out that the pilot I had filmed got picked up for 13 episodes. The middle. And then 9 years later. So we had a half season, and then at a certain point, we had while filming those 13, they were like, we're gonna pick you up for the back 10 or back 9. And
Because
then
they start feeling good about it.
Yeah.
Do they give you marketing budget? Are you guys on billboards and bus benches and
Yes and no. I think they definitely had some idea that we were not going to be as big as Modern Family because we definitely had like billboards and stuff. But it was not as much as the other shows that were also being premiered. I think Cougar Town, what premiered with us? Oh, yes. I'm remembering. It was Hank, Kelsey Grammer multicam, and then us, then Modern Family, and then Cougar Town.
what time slot were you guys?
8:30. I think that was where we started. Yeah. That's like a good time for us. I think that's a good fit. Eventually we moved to 8, and then we moved to a different night.
When that happens, do you get nervous as an actor?
Yeah, for sure. Because it's like, why are they moving us? But in hindsight, I think they were just like, oh, people who watch the middle will keep watching the middle, so we can switch it, and I don't think the ratings are going to dip. And they didn't really. They maybe kind of did. I think naturally. At that point, it was like season 6. Actually, I should really look this up. I don't know. But it was late enough that, like, there's an expected dip and it's okay. I don't know. I think we were, like, solid enough. When I look now at the ratings, because I do this, recap podcast with Brock, who played Brad, and every week we go through and he has all of the stats that we go through. When I look at how many people watched every week, and these were not even the best, they were good ratings, but not the best, but it was like 7 to 10 million people.
That's a crazy number.
It's crazy now. Crazy. Like the amount of TV content that is available to watch now. I think if you get 1 million viewers, that's like, oh, let's pick it up for 3 seasons. Like 7 million people. What
at one time too, on a certain night at a certain time.
Exactly. That's exactly when I think about if I get 7 million views on like one of my TikToks or whatever, I'm like, wow, viral. But that's over the course of, a week or something and not at the same time. Everyone's watching on their own thing at their leisure. Like it's crazy. They had to really make the conscious effort to turn it on at the same time. It's crazy to think about.
When the season comes out, does your life change overnight?
Kind of. I think so. If you had asked me then, I would have said no. But now, yes, for sure. For sure.
In what way? People are stopping you more on the street now?
Yeah.
People are calling you Sue?
Not after, like, the first episode aired, but, like, people started calling me Sue after probably season 2. Yeah, probably after a full 2 seasons aired. But, yes, after it's just, like, initial airing, people did stop me. Not a crazy amount. Nothing like, I wasn't, like, a movie star, but definitely being like, you on that show? You're on that show. And again, it's this weird, it does something to your brain in the, like, it's a form of positive feedback, a positive, like, reinforcement. Like, oh, most people, some people really do just stop and be like, are you on that show? And you're like, yeah. And they're like, okay. But like most people are like, oh, you're really funny on that show. And so it does feel good to like, it's just, I think it's instinctive. Like, I think I'm funny. Having a stranger be like, you're funny. Be like, I'm right. I'm right about myself.
It's validating.
It's validating. And so like, it's not that crazy. It's just like, you can see so easily how someone can go into a validation spiral of like, oh, I do need that external validation then. But, I'm 34 now and I'm like, I'm fine. I'm fine now. It just took a little bit to get here.
What's the relationship amongst the cast as the seasons are progressing? Are you guys just growing closer and closer and you know the rhythms of the characters?
Yes, totally. Yeah, we never had any real problems. We never had any, and I think that's why I think that is something that takes or like I shouldn't say this. There are probably I don't know, maybe there are shows that go so many seasons with so much tension, but I think for a show to be like really successful, like you can feel it. You can feel.
And your show had that.
We
That's
did.
Like you could feel the friendship and the chemistry actually happening on screen.
Yeah, there was never for something to be that sustainable, because you can feel it when it's like something's off. You don't know what, but like something is not right. I don't believe that these people are a family. I don't believe, I don't know what it is. It's just this unquantifiable. I don't believe it. I don't believe what I'm watching right now. And there is, in order to have that like real believability, there just has to be this thing where everyone kind of gets along, at least on some level, not everyone has to be best friends, but I was lucky in that like Charlie really is one of my best friends, really is. And also Brock, who played my best friend Brad, one of my best friends. Still talk to Patty. I try to get once a month lunch with Neil. I try to do that, but we play Scrabble. Like we're friends. We're really friends. We're really like connected. So that's best case scenario. Worst case scenario, everyone is just cordial. And we had that too. We had everyone was just nice. There was no ego. There's barely any ego. No ego.
When do you really feel like you figured out Sue and her tics and her mannerisms and how to attack her?
Probably season 4. When I watch it, probably end of season 1. But like when I really felt confident, when I felt like I can do this in my sleep, like I'm really comfortable. I'm really like, I know who this character is more than just the joke of it, more than just like who they've written. Now it like really feels like specific to me, Eden. Probably season 4. And I really feel like you can tell. I really feel like when I watch, I'm like, that's a more well-rounded character. That is a more like comfortable, that is a person who is more comfortable in living in that character. And I started being able, by the end of season 1, once they started like writing, really, I was noticing they actually wrote to my voice when like it wasn't just me doing their jokes well. It was like they saw me do one of their jokes well and then wrote something based off of that. That's when I was like, my confidence I don't want to say skyrocketed, but it definitely was a marked difference in my like the way because I was like, oh, again, it's a form of external validation of being like, oh, I didn't just say this joke well. I said it so well that they are actively asking to repeat it. And like, they saw me do something specific with it. And now they're like writing something else. Like with a lot of the like squealing, I feel like that wasn't ever, they didn't tell me to squeal in that way. And then they started writing lines that involved a lot of like squealing. And I was like, oh, what I'm doing is working. What I'm doing is funny. And maybe another person would not have done this. Like this was a unique to me thing and it worked and it was good. Therefore, like I feel capable. So probably it took the whole 24 episodes to really feel like I wasn't just doing someone else's work. And yeah. And then by season 4 again, I was like, I feel very like, that was like in the zone. I was like, maybe season 3. But season 4, I felt like I was like feeling myself. I was like, I can do this and I love this.
You seem like you love every bit of it. When you're going home, how are you mastering the craft of it and making sure that Sue is the best version of her that you can give?
I do not have an answer to that question. I was not taking it home. I was really actually not. I was practicing at like the lines in different ways. I felt like, did you watch The Comeback?
Mm,
Do you know with Lisa Kudrow?
it sounds so familiar.
Okay. There's just a really iconic series of takes where like, because she plays this former sitcom star, but she just like is doing this line in her kitchen just over and over again. And I feel like that was like, oh my God, that was so real. That's how I would just like go home and then see a line and be like, just say it a million different ways. Kind of the same way, but like just say it with different inflections. Like, what's the funny, like,
And seeing
like,
which one you like the best?
yeah. But I wasn't thinking about Sue. I wasn't like thinking about the character in ways that I've now realized some people really do. Some people like, even for comedy, they're like really thinking about on a like thespian level, like who is this character? Which I'm the first one to admit like I'm probably not the best actor. I think I'm a good actor, but I think what I'm good at really is committing to a specific feeling. And I'm sorry, like I can see the joke. I know what the joke is. I think I'm pretty good at like knowing how to construct the line with my voice to make it funny. And I do think I'm just gonna toot my own horn. Like, I don't think every person can do that. And so that's what I think I'm good at, which is all to say, no, I'm really not going home and thinking about the character. I'm going home and thinking about, like, what's the funniest way to move my body? And I'm not even really doing it. I'm not practicing it. I'm waiting to do tomorrow. I'm, like, reading the material and being like, oh, I am thinking about how I'm gonna do it, but I'm not practicing it. I'm not thinking that hard about it. I'm just kind of, like, fantasizing about it.
Did you have a line of where Sue and Eden separated? Because when you're playing a character for that long, there must be some kind of way that she rubs off on you.
I have this special that I'm releasing where I have a one-woman show, and this is a central part of it. This what you've just said is the like sort of through line of the whole show, where something does happen, something bizarre and unique and a little scary, a little eerie starts to happen when you're on a show for that long. And the character you're playing is not a like character that you've developed at Groundlings or whatever, where it's this like you drop into it and it's this totally separate thing.
You're not like Anchorman, completely foreign to a human being.
Totally, exactly. When it's like a real person that you're playing and you start at 17 and then go into your like extremely formative years in your 20s and you're really finding who you are, when you're spending, like I said, 80 hours a week spending it as this other character, something something happens where it starts to get the lines do get blurred. The question was like, is there a line? No. That's a problem. That's it's not a it can be problematic. It can be like when people are stopping, your reality gets blurred. And it sounds like really extreme. You're like, well, does your reality really?
But it
kind of does.
Because people see you as Sue and you're spending all this time being her. You're also not developing who you are as a person because you're on set and you're being this person. You're in her house. You're in her family. You're with her friends.
Yes, exactly. And when people outside, when I'm not at work, I'm at lunch or whatever, my first thing was like, I'm at Panera Bread. I don't know why.
I thought you were going to say like Jones on Third.
I don't. No. I was at the Taco Bell until I became vegan. But
they have good vegan options, right?
No, they have like a potato taco, I think.
Oh, I thought they were like a big vegan place.
Is it? Maybe they've changed.
I feel like they might be.
Oh, maybe.
I
I
don't know.
kind of stopped after I was like, I just want a chalupa. Like I want the meat.
I want a chalupa. Cheesy gordita crunch.
Yes.
Give it to me.
And now I can't. But if I'm just, hanging out anywhere, I'm just like at a restaurant, being actual Eden, and someone comes up to me and calls me Sue, we are living in two different realities where I am Eden and you know me because I'm in your living room once a week. I'm like living with your family while you're doing something very casual. You're not going to the movie theater and it's an event and it's like a special thing and there's a very clear line. Like I'm watching a movie. I'm watching art right now, or I'm watching someone play a character. TV is not that. TV, you are truly in someone's home consistently. Once regularly, you hang out, you just see a piece of these people's lives. So like a person who comes up and is like, Sue Heck, they know me. They really do know the character. And so like to have someone just like confirm this identity that's really not my identity. But the tricky part is it is a little bit of my identity because it is me. I'm putting a lot of me into it. And so like they're not wrong. They're not wrong. And so they could be like, wow, that smile, like that was so Sue. And I was like, well, it was Eden first. That's just my smile. I can't control that. And so, and a lot of when you're developing simultaneously, again, I didn't get this role when I was 40 and like had a whole life of like knowing who I was. It really, you develop simultaneously. And it's like after the middle was over, I had to really reflect. I had to be like, who am I? And who am I if I'm not Sue? Especially after because I don't know if you know, we filmed this spinoff pilot and it didn't get picked up. And that was a pilot where they were like, it's a formality. This is basically straight to series.
And it was your life. It was your character.
It was my character, yeah. It was like a Sue spinoff. And it was, honestly, it was good. I'm going to find a way to somehow show people. Like,
so you have a copy of it?
Yes. I have the only copy.
Oh my God.
I know.
What was the branding and the aesthetic and what did it look like?
It was great. It was set in Chicago. It was like a few years in the future because it caught up with a little bit more my actual age. So it was like after college. So Sue was like 22, 23. And she sets off, she like, the actual series ends with a flash forward many years where she's like marrying Sean, or like the boy that she's, got with in season 9. And so the setup to the spinoff, so that it wasn't like Sue's married life with Sean, it was she like breaks up. Basically, she's like, if Sean is my happily ever after, I have to find who I am first in like who I am. And so they sent her to Chicago to like, because also her major in college was hotel and hospitality. And so she basically finds this like really rundown hotel in Chicago. She thinks she has a job there, but it's really run down. And she like makes it her mission she's going to save this hotel. And there's this, cast of characters in the hotel, and Chicago is a little bit of a character. And then Brad shows up, and Brad would probably live with her. And so it was called Sue in the City. Maybe the name would have changed. But like it was about Sue kind of like living in the city, like being it had kind of a little bit of a Kimmy Schmidt vibe, except it wasn't so dark because it didn't have the premise of her being like abducted for many years or anything like that. But it did have the like really optimist in the city vibe.
When you hear that you're getting a spinoff, what'd you think?
Well, first I didn't want to do it.
Really?
Yes. They were like, do you want to do a spinoff? And I was like, I think I've done this character. It's been 9 years. I'm like burnt out. Like I did it. I'm so grateful for it. I really did overall love every second of it. Didn't love every second of it. I don't think anyone can love every second of something that you do for 80 hours a week. But I loved the vast majority of seconds of it for sure. And I was like, I'm done. It's been a decade of my life. I want to do something else. And then they sort of bamboozled us, like me, Eileen and Deanne, the creators, and me. I don't know who orchestrated this. Someone's manager, maybe my manager, I don't know, orchestrated this like, well, Eileen and Deanne really want to do it. And I was like, well, if they really want to do it, like I would have to have a lot of input though. I want some input on this if I'm going to like really commit. If I'm going to be a Frasier, if I want to like play this character for potentially another 10 years, I want this character to be a reflection, something I'm like really proud of, or something I can be. I'm going to have a lot of influence.
The creative control. You want to be a producer?
Yeah. At least, I mean.
Or a writer?
Maybe not a writer, but definitely a producer. At least in effect, even if they didn't want to give me a producer credit, which they didn't, they didn't want to. I worked it out with Eileen and Deanne. They were like, yeah, of course, this will be a collaborative thing. But I found out from Eileen and Deanne, the creators, afterwards, they were like, we didn't want to do it either. And they were like,
we heard you want to do it.
Yes. And I was like, oh my God. So they got us all super invested. By the time we came up with the concept, they came up with the concept, I came up with the input, like, it was a very like, we did this. We created, I feel like, this thing. and I'm not gonna take it away. Like, they definitely had the concept. They we were all so invested. We were like, wait, this is actually so good. And I was so excited about it. I loved filming. I loved really every second of filming that. It was just like,
Was it in Chicago?
It wasn't. I wish they had sent us to Chicago.
A soundstage?
Yeah, they made Chicago. They made the Warner Brothers backlot Chicago. Yeah. But it was good. They got us all so invested and then just pulled the rug out from under us.
Because you were greenlit for 13 episodes or something, right?
No.
I thought they said yes, and then a month later they said no.
No, they never said yes. They said, we don't know. And we were like, what's happening? Like, why is this taking so long? This is weird. We should have heard back by now. But there was like a huge regime change at ABC. The whole turnover. Like, the president who was president during our entire for the most of the middle
That had your back, that loved the
had
show.
our back, championed us, was gone, and no one, and a bunch of executives I think turned over, and so like no one was there, and so the decision fell to Bob Iger, and he probably was like, who? He's like, what is this? Pass. No, not this.
Oh wow.
I know. So it was a blow. To not wanting to do it, to then really wanting to do it, and then being so excited to do it, and then being told you can't do it.
That's like my favorite episode of a sitcom in itself, is when they trick the characters. We're going to do it. We love it. You didn't want to do this? What the hell? Oh, we're not doing it? What?
Exactly. It really was. Wow, I never looked at it like that. It really was kind of
That's
meta.
episode 2.
Yeah.
So did you saw the cut of it and you loved it?
Yeah, I really liked it. It wasn't a perfect pilot, but worse pilots have gotten on TV. Like, there was so much potential. The world was there. I thought it was, I've shown it to people being like, I see the flaws in this. Pilots are really, comedy pilots that you have to do in 21, network comedy pilots. You have to get an entire world out. Exposition, especially when it's a spinoff, when you want people to be able to watch it, when there's this whole backstory that if you watched for 9 years, you know, but you have to really explain in like 30 seconds who this character is. You have to show the whole thing in 21 and a half minutes. It's not going to be perfect. There's going to be some, I don't know, exposition-y lines or whatever, but for the most part, yeah, I thought it was good. I thought it was, and all the people on it were so good. Do you know the comedian Aaron Branch?
Mm-mm.
Oh my God. Aaron, shout out. I knew it was his first job. I think it was his first job ever. And he was out of Chicago. And I was like, you're going to be a star. You're going to be a star. You are so funny. He's a stand-up. And he really has like skyrocketed. Look him up. He's so funny. For my one-woman show, I filmed a special and he opened for me.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Was there ever conversation for a continuation or a reboot or seeing the original cast in the middle come back together? There was. You can't say. It's happening now. You're filming it right now.
We're not, but yeah, there's been
Conversation.
Yeah, there's not in any real way. Someone at Warner Brothers is gonna watch this and be like, subpoena me, or I don't know.
They're looking through the papers. When did this happen?
Yeah. They're like, no, none of this is happening. But actually, Brock and I kind of had this idea, and nothing more than conversations. But I think there is a world where there is something, but it's up to so many. I don't know if you're watching, if you're listening, and you're like, I would love to see that. I don't know, right to ABC or whatever. I think there's a way to do it and have it be good and not like, ooh, cringe.
Because when did it go off the air?
2018.
2018. So
Yeah.
we're coming up on 10 years.
Coming up on 10 years. Yeah. Yeah, I don't mind. At this point, I do feel a little like maybe I do want to, like I've had other jobs. And it's been really nice to not play Sue Heck. It actually has been. It has been really nice.
But it's almost like enough time where it would be fun to revisit that whole family and see the set again. And
I think so.
what did
I have no problem with it.
What did Patricia say when she did the 30th reunion of Everybody Loves Raymond?
Yeah, I don't know. Wait, did she say any? I don't know.
Because she did it. It was like a couple months ago.
Yeah, I don't know. You mean like if she would go back and do any kind of reboot?
Well, just like the fact that she was on another sitcom that came back 30 years later and just seeing everybody together and they recreated the room. Like, that must be so cool for you to be where you spent all of your formative years to go back to it now.
Totally. I think she did. I didn't actually see it. I feel like that's bad. I didn't see what she had said, but I know that she has nothing but reverence for the jobs that she's had. I think she feels very lucky that she had 18 years playing like for 2 different shows. And so I think probably going back to Everybody Loves Raymond, probably it was probably cool. It was probably cool. I imagine she thought it was cool.
You got Star versus the Forces of Evil.
Yeah.
Because Star did 76 episodes of animation.
Yeah.
Which is crazy.
Yes.
What did you learn from doing voiceover versus live action?
A lot. A lot. You learn a lot about, honestly, comedy. I think I had simultaneous training for those 9 years because I did Star in the middle of, while doing the middle. And I also really feel like I found my comedic voice through Star also. They were so, like, the middle was word perfect. It was extremely word perfect. We were
like on the script?
On the script. You said what was on the script. And it was really good writing. For like there were very few times where I had to be like, I just wouldn't say it like this, and I'm not gonna butcher the joke. I promise this doesn't, because jokes are music. If you say them wrong, it sounds flat. Like, it sounds sharper. It sounds like, that's not the joke. That's not the rhythm. But there were a few, I count on one hand the times I was like, I will not ruin your joke. It will still sound like a joke, but I wouldn't ever say this word here. Like, I would not say that. The number of times I had to do that, again, in 9 years, could count on one hand. So being word perfect, it was not a problem, but it was training. It was, you say what's on the page. And so you're more of a puppet. You're just like
the vessel for the writer.
The vessel, exactly. Doing Star was very collaborative. They were like, because all you have it's a board-driven show. I don't know if, do you know the difference between like script-driven and board-driven? A script, like The Simpsons is a script show. That's a script-driven animated show where they write a full script. A board-driven show is you have a basic outline, and then the board artists draw magic. I'm like, I'll read what's on the page, and then I'll see the animatic, and I'm like, how did you do that? How did you get that from that? They're magicians. So they'll draw a basic outline of what the show will look like, and then you record.
So you're seeing what it looks like already? Whoa.
Yeah, but you're not seeing the final product. It's an animatic. It's just
the sketch.
It's just the sketches, yeah, which are incredible. Just even the sketches, but you have some idea, but not the final idea. So, but the words are not. There's no like lip flap already. There's nothing like written. So you go in and record, and they're like, play around. What would you do? What would you do here? Like, you're doing you do Star. So I loved Star from the beginning. I loved this character. I felt, because at that point I had also, I think, been doing the middle for like 2 years. So I had a little more confidence in my own like comedic ability. And I was like, I love this character. If I had watched a character like this as a little girl, because she's aggressive. She was so aggressive, and she was so girly, but so aggressive. And that's me. That's like, she's got a lot of fight, or a lot of fire, and a lot of fight, and wants to just like, and like really justice driven, like really like, gotta be fair, but also look how cute the puppies are. Oh my God. That's me. And so I felt it just like flowed out of me, and so I would say a line, and then to be like, how would you say it? How would you go off, queen?
So did they give you script lines as well? So there's that script actually, and then they give you that freedom to improv.
Yes.
Whew.
Yes.
That's I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Is that rare for Disney or unique to Disney?
That's a great question. I don't know. I don't think it's definitely not unique to Disney.
That's a common thing in the industry.
I think it's honestly showrunner dependent. Probably. Darren was amazing.
So
Darren is amazing.
Right from the beginning, you had that freedom?
Kind of. I didn't have I was like, what are you talking about? Because I came from the middle that was like, you say exactly the like, and you honor the commas, you honor the dots, you honor the hyphens, you honor the like, and it's not and, not plus. Like it's and, or then it's the, not this. I was like, what do you mean what do you mean, how would I say it? What do you mean that? And so I was much more rigid, and then they were like, the line isn't really working. Like, how would you say it? The line is like not quite like go, or like, do you have an idea? They just like, they took my alts, they took my joke pitches, like my alts. And so for the first season, I probably didn't as much. And then once they were like, you have this, like you've really contributed to the character, which again is not to take away from the incredible writers on Star, the writers and the board artists. I cannot emphasize enough, these board artists were absolutely, I don't know, that is something that sometimes I'll see something and be like, I can do that. I see that and I'm like, I will never be able to do that. That's crazy. I don't have that part of my brain. But yeah.
That's absolutely mind-blowing.
Yeah, it was a very cool process. And so by the time we came to, season, what did I go? It went 5 seasons, I think. But they're like, no.
I think 4.
Was it 4 seasons? It was 4 seasons. Okay, yeah. It feels like so much more because I think it's an episode considered those 2 episodes. Yeah, so 76 episodes, but it was like 158 stories or something. So it felt like so much more. And animation takes a long time, so it really was like a full 7 years of my life. By the year 7, it was, I would just see what's on the page and I would be able to do it really easily. And I wasn't even looking at the animatics at that point.
Would you ever do group recordings with Gray?
No.
Oh.
Well, remember your very first question, like, what was my life like during the middle? It was so difficult to squeeze me in a session that it was like, I didn't get to record with any of the legends that were on the show. I didn't get an Alan Tudyk together. 1 time, maybe 2 times. I recorded with Adam MacArthur, who played Marco. That was it. I never got to record with any of these people because it was like, okay, from 3:05 to 4:15, she's gonna drive from the Warner Brothers Ranch to wherever we recorded in Burbank. So it was like all there. I just like would drive like in between scenes, or like, okay, I have a little chunk in the middle of the day, I have to do it. So no, it was almost always alone.
Did you feel like you were on top of the world going from this set to that set, all happened?
Yes,
you did, yeah.
I really did, actually. I really did. And I felt like, I think I mostly felt like, I really, even in the moment, I was like, I'm so fucking lucky. I am so lucky.
You knew it. You felt that.
I knew it. I felt it. I really did. Yeah. Even when I was really tired, if I was really, really tired, and especially doing voice acting, my throat was tired. Like, my voice was tired, especially with a character like Star, which is much like Sue. There's a lot of squealing, a lot of screaming involved. Even when I felt tired and like burnt out, I just felt like, I cannot believe I'm getting paid to do this.
The privilege to be burnt out.
The privilege to be burnt out. Yeah. Oh, and I don't know if I finished my thought about what I learned from doing animation. It really made me even more acutely aware of how comedy is music and musical, because you only have your voice. I did really have to learn that. There were a lot of times where, like, because I'm so physical, I'm such I'm a real physical comedian. I'm really like, I want to always be doing something with my body and my hands, and I'm always gesticulating. And I couldn't, they kept saying like, we heard a little stomp. Because you could hear everything. And they're like, you're jumping. And we heard the, like, the board, the thing with the script on it was shaking.
Stop doing cartwheels.
You played, literally. Sometimes I would, like, turn around. They're like, well, your voice went out. Because you were around. You turned around.
The mic's not picking up when you're facing the other way?
Yeah. You can't do that.
Right. Okay. You can't do that.
You can't do that. So I had to figure out, okay, how does one convey jumping while standing still? How do you do that? And you have to learn. And that's a comedy thing. That's like how do you use your voice to do things? And it's like, you really hone the instrument of just your voice. And you could, like, how do you convey a smile? How do you convey tears other than, it just, like, it really makes you so aware of every part of your your instrument, which is your body.
Did they come to you for the role?
I auditioned.
You auditioned.
Yeah. Darren says that she was like, we read a number of girls, and that wasn't as quite a
Process?
A process. It was like I read once, and then like a month later, I think I went in for a second like session, real like long session, and then they were like, "It's you."
Do you know how you did that initial audition? Did it sound like how she sounded in the show?
Yeah, pretty much. Pretty much. I think it changed a little bit. The voice it started off really just my voice, and then if you listen to the first episode, I got better. I definitely got better. And the character became more specific. It became more like me is the thing. And I learned how to do more things with my voice. And but my voice it changed a little bit. It changed like, I don't know, the voice got higher, definitely. Definitely higher, because I remember in later seasons, they were like, it's too low. Like, pitch it up a little bit. But it was there. All the elements were there. I just had to find it.
For you as an actor, did you think that it was going to be really unlikely to have 2 shows happening at the same time?
Yes. I thought one of them would end. And they just didn't. And
they just kept going and going.
They just kept going, yeah. And it's luck. That is luck. There are very good animated shows that go one season, and they're like, for whatever reason.
And exactly like you said, where the heads of the studio just change, and it's just like, different direction.
Yeah. Yeah.
Completely out of your control.
There could have been someone, luckily it didn't, there could have been someone on the star team who like pissed someone off up high, and they were like, no. Could have been. I don't know. There's so many reasons why things don't go. And I was nervous. I was like, something crazy about Star, Darren Nefsey is I think second in 30 or 40 years of Disney TV animation, second female creator ever.
Wow.
Yeah. Hopefully now it's different. At that time, yeah, I think the only other one was the woman who created Pepper Ann. So there was also that element of like, are people going to watch a Disney princess who's not really a princess? It's a female-driven show. She's a little girl. She's not a little girl. She's in high school. But she's a girl, and the sidekick is really a boy. Is Disney okay with that? Is it going to work? And guess what? It worked. Guess what? Boys watched it. Guess what? Everyone shocker. A good show is a good character is a good character. But I was like, I don't know. Are they going to also like, is there going to be a sexist element where they're not going to trust Darren as much? I don't know. I don't know. It crossed my mind. Thank God they didn't. Thank God they like kept her on because she's a genius.
Would you think after season 1, did you think that there was going to be a solid fan base and it would keep going?
No, I didn't know. I thought it was so good, and I was like, I hope so. I really hope so. I honestly wasn't thinking about it. I actually wasn't. I was like, at that point, I was like, I got to do a season of a cartoon where I was the lead.
How cool.
How cool. And it's actually good. I can actually stand by it. It's not just like a job that I'm really proud of this. And I'm happy for my future kids to watch this. They don't care, by the way.
They still don't care.
They don't care at all. But
do they watch it?
They actually just came with me to a recording session where.
What did they think?
They liked the snacks. There were a lot of M&Ms.
That's a win.
In the room, yeah. I think they did take away. They were like, I could tell. I was watching them through. Like, because there was an animatic there for them to watch and me in the corner, like a screen where I was on it. So I think they did understand what was happening. And I think, even though they said, I was like, what was your favorite part of watching Mommy at work? Of course, they were like, the M&Ms. I think they did take away. I think they liked it.
I think they liked it.
I think they did.
Have your kids watched the middle?
Yes.
What do they think? Do they recognize it's you?
Yes. They're 4. They're 4.5. So they have like they get it. They don't think it's special or interesting yet. They're like, yeah, that's your job. That's you. There was one time where they watched Sue Fell, and they were really concerned. They didn't like that. They were like, I don't like that you're hurt. And I'm like, no, it's pretend. They don't get that it's pretend. I don't think they get that it's pretend. They get that something is cool about it, but they don't understand. I don't know, because they don't watch live action stuff really. They only watch animated.
Animation.
Yeah, so I think also they've seen me do parts of my show like live, and so it's a little confusing. They're like, "This is just your show. but on the TV. And so they don't quite they're like, are you fun? They asked me that they did know that it was something because they were like, Mommy, are you funny? And I was like, what do you think? Am I funny? They're like, yeah. And then one of the kids is like, not really. And I was like, okay, well, one of you thinks I'm funny.
When you had the braces as Sue Heck,
Yeah.
was that hard to act in those?
Best training of my life.
In what way?
It was, you know how you can do a lot of like, she sells seashells by the seashore. Saying a full monologue quickly, very quickly.
And clear and
projected with those braces. Once I got them off, it was like training at high altitude.
Is it just a mouth guard?
It's Invisalign with real brackets on the outside. So I put this like insert in. So it's just like putting Invisalign, but they're real braces.
So your mouth is sticking out?
Yes, sometimes they had to have real wax, like braces wax. Like they had to have it on hand because I'd cut up my gums. And so I'd have to say, and then it really did become a thing of like, oh, Eden's really good at saying a lot of words very quickly, which I also learned from doing Star because I had to enunciate, because all you have is your voice. And so you have to speak very, very, and it has to be fast because it's 7.5 minutes, or maybe no, it's 11 minutes. Whatever. You always have to say things very quickly and you have to say them very clearly because you have to be heard. And so they were like, oh, Eden can do it. And then I was like, that was practice. It was hard. I think that answered your question. It was hard.
What were the hardest scenes to film in the middle?
There are two types of difficult scenes in comedy. There's the one where it's like, oh yeah, of course this is hard. You have a ton of lines or a huge monologue where you have to, there are several jokes, but you also have to hit so many, but it also is heartfelt. You have to hit a lot of different notes and hit them correctly and precisely, and it's a very precise science. But you have to be like having a lot of so much to say and having to also be funny, but having to also be true to the character and true to reality. That's challenging. That's like a challenge. Obviously, that feels very obvious. Second kind of very hard thing to shoot is a very, very long scene where you have very few lines. If there were a lot of scenes, I think the hardest ones to shoot were the Christmas and Thanksgiving scenes where there were like 12 people sitting around a table and it would take 2 full days to film and you had to sit there and react. Basically just react for like 6 pages. And then you have to do not fuck up your cue. If you have 2 lines in the whole scene and you're reacting, you also have to then remember your lines. You have to remember when your line is going to be. And if you mess up, most of them, they weren't shot as oneers. Oh, the oneers, those were hard to film. Those were challenging also.
What's a oneer?
A oneer is like Birdman, or when you shoot it in just one take. When you're like following, if you watched The Studio, they did a ton of oneers. Those are challenging because you can't cut away to anything. We didn't do a lot of them on the middle, but sometimes we would do them. And if you were the one to mess it up, you're the reason. It's like a lot of times it's like, well, you don't know what really like why we're doing another take. No, with oneers, if you mess up your line, it's because of you. You did it. So now everyone has to do it again.
Did you ever do that?
I'm sure. I can't remember a specific time. I'm sure I messed up. I think I was so afraid of being the one to mess up. I probably didn't very often, but there must have been over the course of 9 years a time where I messed up my cue or whatever. Luckily, everyone was pretty understanding. Like everyone does it sometimes. It's a lot when someone's like repeatedly the reason. That's a little crazy making. But we didn't have really any of like, for the most part, we didn't have any of those. But yeah, no, the Thanksgiving scenes, those were challenging when I had like 2 lines and it's so much face acting. It's so much like reacting because you need to be present, but like that's exhausting. It is exhausting being present and not saying your lines or not having any lines.
Do they ever tell you you're giving too much and you got to dial it back?
Not on the middle.
Bigger.
Yeah, I've never. No, not on the middle. I've been told in life you can do less with your face. Do less. In fact, in an audition one time before the middle, this casting director, who I will not name because she is very active, like still. And I think she actually likes me is the weird part. But I was like 16 and she was like, it was for a movie and I read my lines and she goes, so this is a movie for theatrical release. Your face is going to be this big. You can just do less. And I was like, okay. Okay, like holding back tears, like, I got it. I'll do less with my face. and I think about it now, like it's funny to me now because like I made a whole career off of the weird facial expressions I can do. But oh my God. But no, on the middle, no. They never told me to do less with my face.
Can we do some rapid fire?
Yes.
Favorite Sue Heck moment from the entire series?
The musical number.
How come?
Yeah, it was a dream because I'm a big musical theater person. And a lot of Sue's, there were a number of episodes where I had to sing badly, dance poorly, like, you know, do the comedic version of it. And I love doing that. But I also actually am a pretty good dancer. I'm a pretty good singer. And so this was an actual, they put a lot of money into this. This was a huge choreographed number. I got to go to a recording studio and record a song, a real musical theater number written by professional musical theater writers. I got to be with Brock. We got to dance together. It was so magical. It was so special because it's not like we didn't do that all the time. It wasn't like doing Glee.
One Sue Heck club you wish really existed in real life.
Probably Wrestlerettes. Not even for me, just because it's such an unhinged concept. It's so funny that I would love to see that at a real school. I would love to see. I think No Cut Acapella actually does exist, but definitely Wrestlerettes. I'd love to see some 14-year-olds cheering on two people.
Which actor broke the most on set?
Me.
Really?
Probably me. Yeah, no, me. I think everyone would probably say me.
What were you laughing at most? Your lines?
No.
I'm
Charlie
so funny.
God. No, there were times, I will say that, there were times when if it was like 10 p.m. and I'd been there since 6 a.m. and I had a big monologue, you'd get into
Delusional mode.
Delusional mode. You'd get into the giggles and that would be hard. That's a hard thing to escape from because it's funny until it's not. Until it's like we all want to go home. You got to get it together. And sometimes I'd have to like walk off set for a minute, be like, I got to get a drink of water. I got to do a full reset in my brain because like something is triggering me to just laugh when I say, and this part was like, but usually it was Charlie. It was almost always because Charlie would try to make me laugh off camera. And I was like, you have to stop it because other people don't understand that you're like making a face or like doing your line so weirdly because no one's paying attention when it's not your coverage. No one's really paying attention to what the other person's doing.
Like it's just over the shoulder.
Exactly. So he'd say his line in this absolutely psychotic way that was like, that is not how you said it on the other side, and it's so funny and he's purposely trying to make me laugh and it worked so much of the time.
What was your guys' friendship like off the camera, off the show?
Good. I don't know. Fantastic. He's wonderful. He's one of my closest people. He and his wife directed my one-woman show. We really were like brother and sister. I think I have two brothers and he has two sisters. And so like in real life you get it. We get it. And we just got along. Also, there is a little bit of not trauma bonding. War. When you have it is a very specific thing, being on a sitcom and working with someone for that closely for that many years. There's just something that you inherently understand that you will never, ever, ever be able to explain to another person. And so I think having that ground us in our friendship, having that bond us, we can like go and talk about the experience and not have to use many words because we don't have to explain anything. It like does something to a friendship.
Were you guys the closest, do you think, because just same age and you're going yeah.
I think our it really was the age proximity.
Who'd you have the most scenes with? Was it him?
Probably Patty, actually. I had a lot towards the end. I definitely had more scenes with him, but at least in the beginning, it was Patty or my school friends. Then it became like Brock. Yeah, probably more Brock and Daniela, who played Lexi. But that's not like the most because that's such a short period of time. Probably Patty, I want to say. I would love to do a full count. I'd love to do a full count.
What's your favorite Sue Heck catchphrase?
Ugh. I mean, there's the really. I think that's the most iconic one. Like me just saying, really? Like in that kind of way. That's the funnest because I can go the most insane with it. I can like really like, there's like a really? And then there's like, really? Like I can fully just lose it. I did really like and so on and so forth and what have you. When she lied, she would say that. But I don't know. I liked the dance also. I did not mind. There were a lot of repeats. I want to say catchphrase, but like there were a lot of things that became like a meme throughout the show, and I never felt like it was, did I do that? I never felt like I have to do this again. Like I was like, this is fun. This is a fun thing to do.
Who is the most like their character in real life?
Either me or Neil. I'm gonna say Neil. Neil to Mike. No, it's Neil. It's 100% Neil because I have significant differences with Sue. I have Sue is not like an angry person, and I'd say I have a lot of joy in my life. I have a very excitability, but I also am like I can get like really angry, really intense, and I don't think Sue has that. Neil hit you. It was indecipherable when he would come to set. We were like, "Are you in wardrobe?" We don't. He just has like a cartoon closet of flannels, the same flannel shirts. He like we Brock and I interviewed Neil and we brought up a scene from the show and he had the exact same reaction as Mike. We were like, and I was like, Neil, this is fiction. This is a fictional thing that happened. It was like some scene where they show Mike, they have a voicemail, like a recording of Mike from when he's like 25, like saying like, Frankie, I love you, I miss you, whatever. Fiction, full fiction. It was just an episode of a show. A character that he played did this. And we told him about it. And he went, I did that? We're like, well, Mike did that. And he was like, oh, that's embarrassing. I was like, and that was Mike's reaction in the show. It was fully, I will say, it would be either me or Neil, though, because they literally extracted a story from my and Neil's real life and real friendship.
And it became an episode?
And became an episode, yes. I made a birthday video for Neil one year. I got all of his friends and family to make a video for him, to make like they answered questions. And one of the questions was, it was fill in the blank, I love Neil because... He hated it. Oh my God. And I think he loved it. It's also an insane time capsule. Like I got everyone in his life to say something about him. And he's friends with a lot of funny people. He is friends with some iconically funny people. So there were some really good videos, but he was, I think, so uncomfortable with it. And it was my goal in life to just always like, how can I make Neil the most uncomfortable? And they thought it was funny. And so they had Sue do it for Mike.
Do you just reach out to everybody on your own?
Yeah. Yeah, I got one person in his life to like get me all the emails for everyone, but he is so beloved. The same way I think Mike is probably pretty beloved. He is, oh my God. I think every single person responded. I didn't think there were some celebrities. And I think all of them made a video.
Wow.
All of that. Everyone was like, oh, for Neil Flynn? Yes, anything. He's amazing.
I have some fan questions as well.
Oh, yes.
Your journey of transitioning into stand-up comedy and live performance, what inspired the one-woman show?
A lot of trauma. I think processing the show ending, processing the middle ending, and having like a full identity crisis, and then having my kids. The show is really the entry point. Like it's called I Was on a Sitcom, and the entry point is being on this sitcom playing Sue, but the bulk of the show is really about the like labor and delivery of my kids.
Twins.
Twins. Yeah, twins. So, and it's an insane story. And it also, I promise you, like it relates back to playing Sue. And I think after the show ended and then I had these kids, I had these twins and I had this whole other life, I just had so much to say. And I tried. I was like, is this a pilot? Should I try to be creative? Should I write? What should I tried writing things with it, and nothing worked except for I was like, I have just a lot to say, and I feel like I can say it on stage. And it was the same feeling. I knew I could do it because I hadn't had the feeling that I had when I was a little kid and I would watch TV and be like, I can do that. I saw, what is her, Cecily Strong do one of my favorite shows. She did a run of Searching for Signs of Intelligent Life in the Universe, which Lily Tomlin did a million years ago. I saw her do it, and I was like, and you just play a bunch of characters. It's a one-woman show, and she was so good. And I was like, I can do that. I want to do that. I want to try that. That sounds hard. That sounds like a hard thing that I want to try. And again, I love stand-up. My husband is like, I'm always wanting to watch a stand-up special, and he's like, no. I mean, like, I don't, and I'm like, if it's a special, like, it's gonna be good. We're not going to like an open mic, but I will even go to an open mic though. I love stand-up, and when it's bad, I like seeing it and being like, you're doing that wrong. Like, here's what you should be doing. But I love it. I love the art of it, and I think I thought I would be good at it, and you know what? I did it. Yeah. I actually really, 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 really enjoyed it. And I got to be me. I got to actually be me on stage, which was something I've never, ever, ever done. It's different from playing. It's different from being in a play. I loved it.
Do you have any tour dates for it coming up?
No, because I filmed the special and I'm going to release the special. Hopefully by the time this airs, the special will be out. Please go watch the special
Where
on
can people
YouTube.
watch it?
It's going to be on YouTube.
Okay.
On my YouTube. I guarantee there will be a link in my bio on all my socials.
There's going to be a link on this video as well, so go watch it.
Yes. So after I release the special, I'm going to see if there's still want in other places to see it live. But if not, I am currently working on another hour. I shouldn't say that because it's so preliminary that it's like a year was gonna go by and they were like, what's happened to that hour? Like, it's still in flux. It's still it's still happening. It's weird. The first one flowed out of me. Just
because that's your first one. That's like your debut album.
Exactly. I feel a little like sophomore slump. I feel a little like I had so much to say and I said so much of it and I have more to say. And now also that my kids are older, there's so much more material about parenting, but also trying to figure out it's a different beast trying to figure out like what do I want? I had such a clear thing I wanted to say before. What do I want to say now? What do I care about? What do I need? Like, I needed to say that. I needed to write that show because I needed someone to hear that. And now I'm like, well, what do I need people to hear? There's a lot. I love attention. But what do I really need? What do I, like, I could talk for 8 hours, but what's funny? What's going to be funny and important enough to be on stage?
Right.
Yeah, but I love it.
What was your favorite memory on the set of the show?
All my memories with Charlie. There were so many memories where every time we got delusional, like we had these insane inside jokes that I don't even know. I don't know how they came to be. They make no sense. Even when I like really try to meditate on like, what triggered this? Like we have this one, I think it happened during a Thanksgiving episode because those are just the longest days. Those are the longest scenes. And we were like under the table or something. They were lighting and we're like, we're not going to go back to our trailer. It's like 11 p.m. We were like under the dining room table and we were like, just like, like on the floor. And I think Charlie just said, you have to pay the price. The rice price. It's not funny. It's not like it's not. And I lost my mind. I was tearing. The makeup had to come and like check my makeup because I was crying, laughing. And then he was like, the rice price. And then he just had it for years. He's like, you have to pay the price, the rice price. You have to pay the rice price. That's, I think, that's what I remember when I think of Filming the Middle. And I think of him being off camera saying like this one another Thanksgiving episode where he said this line about cranberry sauce. It was like, who's going to open the can of cranberry sauce was his line. but he had to say it so many times that it got so unhinged. And eventually it was just, and eventually, like, it was on his coverage, and the director was like, can you say it? Can you just say it? We can't understand you. Can you say it normal? But I think it was like season 1 or 2. I think of who's going to open the can of cranberry sauce, and I'm like, I'm filled with joy.
How did they come up with the name Brick?
Oh, I have no idea. I actually have no idea. I think they just wanted a quirky name. I should text Eileen. I should really text Eileen and see, because I don't know how they came up with any of them. I think Axel in the original pilot was Elvis, and they wanted like that to be a musical person. I don't know how they came up with Brick. I've never asked. This is why you're a good interviewer.
Favorite episode you got to record on for Star?
Because I had to join a different union for this. There was one where they just let me. I got to sing a burrito song. They were like, sing a song about a burrito. And they just let me go. They were like, do whatever, make it up.
You just wing it.
I just wung it, and I came up with a song. I think my greatest joy in life, other than comedy, I took a musical improv class, and I think it's some people hate it. Some people take it and they're like, that is a form of torture. I would never ever. That is horrifying. I took it and I was like, this is my calling in life. I do this anyway. I'm constantly making up songs. I'm annoying every single person around me. And so for them to be like, you like just make up this song. I think there were some words, but I got to just like, ooh, burrito, my burrito, 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 something like that. And then they used it, and I think because certain like music laws, they created instrumentation to it, and there was lip flap to it. I had to join some like music writers union, like legal purposes. So I loved that. That was one of my. Oh God, that was a fun episode of Star.
What other perks did you get from being on a successful show like that? I mean, they gave the cast of Friends like Mercedes-Benz, and like there was.
Yes, they did. We didn't get. I'll be honest. We did not get a raise in 6 years. We didn't get bonuses like that.
Was that from the original contract?
Yeah. And when other people now find out, like they didn't renegotiate. We thought we were done. We all thought we were done after 6 years, because we were like, oh,
contract's over.
Contract's over, and they were like, we're not gonna give you more money. And we're like, I think we want a little bit more money. I'm still making what I made on the pilot when I was truly nobody. And that was not that much. Not that much money in the scope of what people get paid to do TV. Like when people say like, yeah, like $1 million an episode, I'm like, not even a fraction, like not even close to that for 6 years. And then, so we all thought we were done. And then when they were like, what? Oh, of course we're gonna keep going. Like, why would you think that we wouldn't pay you more? And we were all like, because you said you wouldn't pay us more? What? And so we got a raise finally for season 7. We got one raise, and that was it. The middle was truly, we had maybe too little of egos. Like we didn't have there was not one person like leading the charge of like we should get paid more, or we should like be compensated. We should, I don't know. Maybe we should. I don't know. Everyone was just like, okay, yeah, okay. We just came to work and did our thing, and I kept our head down, like, and just did our jobs, which is great. But I think at a certain point we were like, we felt not valued, and so we were like, we need to feel a little more valued. And then we all got raises, but we never got the like. It was not a flashy show. It was not flashy in that way, but I did get to be flown places a lot. Like in that, there are perks like when you do press, like you get to be flown first. I got to experience first class a lot, which was crazy. Hard to go back, which I didn't for a while. And now I have 3 kids now. I've been like 2 kids that actually need seats on planes, and my husband. And like if we go international, like my mom will come. We're not flying first class. No, we can't buy 5 tickets first class internationally. And it is, once you go first class, it's hard going back.
Mommy's going to be up front for this one, okay?
Yeah.
Did the show syndicate after 6 seasons?
After
Or
5.
5 seasons.
Yeah.
And then do all actors get back end money from that? Because that was still.
No, you have to negotiate to get back end. And they
Was that
weren't-
part of the renegotiation?
Yeah. Yeah. And so the back end that I got, we all tried to go in. We tried to do the Friends thing. We tried to do
We all
the,
came
like,
together.
Yeah.
But
we
then
were
they
like,
separated us.
yes. And so I think it was like certain, I mean, like, you know, rightfully so, Patty, from the beginning, her salary was bigger than ours. Like, it should have been. She was Patricia Heaton. She was a get. So, like, everyone negotiated. We all said we're all getting raises, and, like, we're going to get equal percentage raise. Like, we're not going to all be getting paid the same thing, but we should proportionally all be getting something. And so I think, you know, I don't know what Patty got back end, but I know that what I got was so little. And I at least, like, but people now, I think getting anything would be impossible. Getting, like, a percentage of a fraction or whatever is, does back end even exist anymore?
No.
It doesn't, right?
No, you were the last era of that.
Yeah. So
Do you get residuals now?
Well, I get some residuals. Yes. They're not like Friends residuals, but they are enough to, like, you know, if I don't work for a year, I have a safety net of, like, some money. So which is nice. But it is a weird thing. People being like, well, you're in a sitcom. I mean, like, I'm telling you, it's not quite the same. I would never I'm never, ever, ever you're never gonna hear me complain about money. But I think people do have an inflated sense of, or a sense, they think.
Everyone thinks Friends.
Everyone thinks Friends. They think you're making more
But
money.
that's that one story.
That's what, exactly. People don't realize. It controls the narrative of all sitcoms, but, like, that was one show. The most successful sitcom, arguably, of all time. So, like, not all sitcoms are like that. Especially not ones that aren't, like, winning Emmys and stuff. And
What'd you win? You won a Screen Actors Guild, right?
I won a Critics' Choice Award.
Critics' Choice.
Yeah. But we were not, like, we never went to the Emmys.
You didn't even go?
We didn't go. No, we weren't even invited.
Oh, that's crazy.
I know.
Is the show still playing now?
It definitely shows on Hallmark. I know that. It is. I know ABC Family did Freeform. Is Freeform still a thing?
I think so.
I bet it shows on Freeform. Yeah, I don't know. And, like, what is it called? Not satellite TV. Terrestrial TV. I don't know I don't think it airs on ABC.
Is terrestrial like traditional TV?
Yeah.
Oh, that's such an old word to describe it.
I know.
Terrestrial.
I know. I think that is the word, though. I think, like, when people talk about the bunny ears also, those are, like, the terrestrial channels. Yeah. But I think it just means the, like, TV that's not streaming now. But I know it's airing someplace because I get some residuals.
How often do they come? Is it every quarter?
Every quarter, yeah.
Do you still get residuals from Weeds?
Yes, I have a collection of old, like, paper checks, and I think I still do. They're like 14 cents, 85 cents. I don't think I've made more than $1 off of residuals from anything I did before the middle. I don't make more than, like, $1 per residual, but yeah.
Still coming in.
Still coming in, few cents.
What'd you spend your first big paycheck on? What were you like, I have to have this? Because you were 11, 12, 13?
Yeah, I was like,
Was it candy? I picture you at City Walk going nuts at It's Sugar.
I did go to City Walk. I did. Do you remember that place at City Walk? Or actually, you haven't been here that long, but there was a place at City Walk that had, like, it was like a magic place, like a wizard place, and there's been dry ice in it, but, like, you'd get these, like, test tubes of what I think is sugar water. Pretty sure it's like with food coloring in it, and you get to, like, I don't know if I spent my money on that. I definitely, you know what? I know what I spent my money on. It was when I was 14 years old. I bought a pair of Stella McCartney jeans.
Ooh.
They were gray, skinny jeans, and I wore them until I grew out of them. I wore them until I was like, because I was like, you know, I was 4'7", like 85 pounds in 9th grade. And I was like, this is who I'm going to be forever. And I really did. I was like, they were like $300 jeans. And I still think about them. I love those jeans. I kept them for so long. And I remember looking at them when I was like 20, being like, they're like this big.
I got my money's worth.
Yeah, I really did.
What else do you have coming up now? You're doing your podcast. It's weekly.
Doing my podcast weekly every Wednesday. It comes out.
It's going to be linked down below. Go subscribe.
Yeah. Yes. And I did a Hallmark movie. You can check it out on Hallmark Plus now, called A Keller Christmas Vacation. And my special. I'm releasing my special. It's gonna be out. So click the link. It's called I Was on a Sitcom. It's on YouTube. It's my heart. It's my heart and soul.
This is awesome. Thanks for coming by.
Thank you so much for having me.
Cool. See you guys. That was so great.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. I hope you guys enjoyed that interview. Today's conversation is brought to you by FanDuel.